For you, Action News 5 at 4 starts now.
On the night of January 7th, my brother was robbed of his life, his passions, and his talents, but not his light.
Morning in Memphis. Family, friends, community members, local and national leaders and activists all together today in Memphis to say a final farewell to Tyre Nichols. His funeral service wrapped up a short time ago at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church.
Tyre Nichols was a 29-year-old man who died after being beaten by 5 Memphis police officers during a traffic stop. We have team coverage today from inside the service, outside the church, and at the repast.
Viewing area is in round 3 of winter weather right now. Slick streets, icy highways, frigid temperatures all across the Mid-South.
That's right, and today is another First Alert weather day, and we're giving you everything you need to know to stay safe as we brace for another cold night. You're looking at the Action News 5 High 5 camera downtown, where you can see a lot of white out there on the rooftops and the streets.
Yeah, the other Action News 5 camera in Midtown still has the icicles hanging off of it. Thank you for joining us today for Action News 5 at 4. We're glad you're with us. I'm Joyce Peterson.
I'm Kim Clark. Our First Alert weather team is working around the clock to track this winter weather system. Meteorologist Spencer Ditton joins us now with a check of your First Alert forecast. Spencer?
That's right. It still is a First Alert weather day because we have this ice storm warning in effect that continues as we go through tonight and into tomorrow for much of the Mid-South. We do have little pockets of little freezing rain or ice pellets out there across North Mississippi. Again, it's not widespread. We had some here in Shelby County earlier this afternoon, but it's become more sporadic in nature. We're going to continue to see this move in from the southwest as we go through the afternoon, rest of the afternoon and into the evening. You can see it's spotty across much of Arkansas as well, and there might even be a little bit of snowflakes flying there in northern Arkansas. But for the most part, this is going to be a freezing rain or sleet event as we go into the nighttime hours for all of the Mid-South. Now, our road temperatures right now are going up a little bit. This is good news because they're in the upper 30s and even some areas near 40 degrees here in the city of Memphis. That's the actual road temperatures. That's not the air temperature. You can see the road temperatures are much lower down to the south. Temperature-wise, we're at 29 right now with feels like temperatures in the mid-20s. We're going to continue to see the stream of moisture move through. I'll have your first alert to when it will move out and how much more could fall coming up.
All right, Spencer. Well, everything that fell to the ground froze into place before the current round of wintry mix began.
Yeah, it was a mess out there. It caused a number of roads to be extremely slick yesterday and then again this morning. Much of the same is expected through the night.
Action News 5's Walter Murphy has been going around the city today to find the spots you should avoid. Walter, what'd you find?
Well, Kim, there's not just one spot to avoid. You really should be safe wherever you're driving today. Now, the roads are still icy. That ice that we got yesterday is just packed down, so that's why safety is crucial. Now, earlier today, around 9 o'clock in the morning, a jackknifed semi-truck caused a big backup on Lamar Avenue. Memphis police, at last check, were still not sure about how many cars were involved, though. When we were leaving that scene, we saw another jackknifed semi. And in South Memphis, a car knocked down this power pole. Even with that third round of ice expected to fall tonight, TDOT and the city of Memphis have been out treating the roads all day.
It's not, always ideal, but even some salt residue is better than none. And that's what we're trying to do. You're trying to prevent that ice from bonding to the pavement, because once it bonds, it's impossible to remove it.
We also saw this downed power pole in South Memphis again, and it was caused by a car that lost control on black ice. It didn't cause any significant power outages, and at last check, the Memphis Light, Gas, and Water only had a little over 200 outages right now, which is a lot better than a lot of people thought that MLGW would fare. I'll have more about why they fared so well during this ice storm so far coming up at 5 o'clock, but for now, reporting live, I'm Walter Murphy, Action News 5.
All right, and with the roads so rough out there, MPD tells us they're still working under the department's inclement weather crash policy for the second day in a row. That means if you're involved in an accident but you're not injured and your car is okay to drive, then just exchange all the important information with the other driver or drivers: names, addresses, phone numbers, insurance, and tag numbers. Make sure you take a picture of the damage, and again, take a picture of the vehicle tag numbers involved, and then call the closest police precinct to you within 5 days of your accident. An officer will complete what is called a non-investigated crash report.
Well, with ice accumulating on trees and power lines, one of the biggest concerns is always power outages, which can be dangerous in this weather. And we've been pretty fortunate so far. Right now, according to the MLGW outage map, there are about 26 outages, which comes to about 248 customers without power, which means 99.94% of MLG customers have power. We will continue to keep track of these outages throughout the day and night. MLGW wants to remind customers, sign up for the text alert program and get information about outages and restoration times. Right now, as I said, only about 90,000 customers are signed up. We've told you this yesterday. MLGW serves 440,000 customers.
Got some signing up to do. And one other thing to make sure you do, download the Action News 5 weather app. It's like having the First Alert weather team with you everywhere, in your purse, in your pocket, in your car. You can track the forecast hour by hour, plus turn on alerts to get new watches and warnings sent straight to you. And when those alerts go off, you will hear them from your phone. It is free to download the Action News 5 First Alert weather app for both Android and Apple phones.
As we mentioned at the top of this newscast, it's a day of mourning in Memphis as people from near and far celebrate the life of Tyre Nichols. That's the 29-year-old man who died after a traffic stop with Memphis police officers just last month. We
have team coverage today. Action News 5's Kelly Cook was inside the sanctuary at Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church. Action News 5's Stephanie Douglas was outside the church, keeping an eye on what was going on there.
Let's check in with Kelly Cook. First, though, what can you tell us about the program today, Kelly?
Well, I can tell you this, it was about a 2-hour-long funeral service where we heard from everyone from the vice president to the family of Tyre Nichols, at many times a very emotional service. Immediately following that funeral service, Reverend Al Sharpton, who is the president of the National Action Network, came to where I am now, which is in the chapel portion. It's where the media staging area, so to speak. And he stood up there and he told us, he said, I am not a funeral director, I am an activist. He was making call to the number of eulogies that he has performed for similar situations, but he says, you know, it's about action, and says that much of what they wanted to do today, in addition to comforting of this family, Tyre Nichols, who was thrown into the spotlight when their son, brother, friend was killed on January 7 in Memphis near Rains and Ross Road. A big push for more legislation regarding police reform was certainly a big part of today, but it was also, again, just to comfort the family. Kamala Harris, Vice President Kamala Harris, said that she spoke not just as the vice president or speaking on behalf of President Joe Biden. She was speaking as a mother, and a mother who always expects for a child to come home at the end of the day. So emotional time, lots of faces who arrived here today. Spike Lee says he got on a plane this morning and just wanted to be here today, along with a number of other dignitaries within the Biden administration who was here as well. So it was, as expected, about a 2-hour service, some words of comfort and of lasting words. They said that this is something that they will stick with long after the cameras leave, to make sure that justice for Tyre does occur. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Kelly. And you know, Attorney Crump said it again, that Memphis will be the blueprint moving forward, the swiftness with which the police department handled the investigation. Let's go now to Action News 5's Stephanie Douglas. She's outside of the church.
Stephanie, what is happening where you are right now?
Yeah, Kim Joyce still reporting live outside of Mississippi Boulevard Christian Church, where I want to show you, you just heard that the Tyre Nichols beautiful send-off just wrapped up, but I want to show you the scene that, it's showing you, it looks a lot different right now, just wrapping up from the funeral. You saw earlier dozens of people made it out here, still in these conditions. You can see it's cold, it's snow flurries are falling a little bit, but so many people came out here today, and still some people are inside the church just still giving their thoughts and their condolences. Earlier, we just heard a press conference with Attorney Ben Crump and Reverend Al Sharpton addressing the media. But I know that later on tonight, we will be hearing from another party, and that's the new Black Panther Movement Party that is calling for a town hall. Anyone that has had an encounter with MPD, they're asking to come to that place, and we'll give the details coming up on Action News 5 at 5.
All right, Action News 5, Stephanie Douglas outside of Mississippi Boulevard Church for us. Stephanie, thank you.
Well, since the death of Tyre Nichols, many across the nation have shown love to his family. And while some of the people close to Tyre could not make it to his homecoming, we were able to catch up with one friend who knew him very well.
Yeah, he grew up in California, so he's got a whole bunch of folks out there who miss him. Angelina Paxton is one of them. She's a close friend to Tyre Nichols. 15 years they knew each other out there in California. She said she was in a state of shock when she heard a young man who she considers a brother to her was killed. Paxton shared with us the words that she would say to Tyre if he was still with us today.
Tyre always felt that he was what he would describe as a lone wolf. He felt like he was so different that he didn't really have he had a lot of people, but I don't know if he knew that. And I wish I could tell him and show him right now how many people have shown up for him and how many people loved him.
We have more team coverage still to come. Action News 5's Bria Bolden is at the repast where the community is pitching in to feed Tyre Nichols' family. We'll bring you her live report. Look for that coming up during Action News 5 at 4:30.
After the death of Tyre Nichols, we're seeing a renewed push for legislation to address police brutality. Hear what a local leader of the NAACP says is most important to address these calls for change. Next.